In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
The international boy, DJ Perez.
Fresh guy. Fresh guy. If you give me your love, baby, I know what you're doing. Turn around, make a come on something for your back.
What do you want from me? Is it true love or just this? Or is it because of what you see?
DJ Perez on the ones and twos.
You get the money, they go and calculate your pump pump. You get the money, they go call.
Te quiero, Maria, Maria, Maria.
For more, log on to www.djperez254.com.
We'll take it. You know me like it when you take it. We'll bend down, yeah. Girl, I gon' make your love come down. This for my lover. It's a song for the lovers, yeah. Don't wanna be undercover no more. I wanna sing for ya, I wanna sing for ya. No, say me hurt ya, but I go do you better, whoa. You know you so special, that's why I sing for ya, that's why I sing for ya. Long time, yeah, you know, say me love it long time. Now I ain't see you in a long time. Let me sing for you while you're so wide. Long time, yeah, you know, say me love it long time. Then I ain't see you in a long time. Let me sing for you while you're slow wine. Girl, let me holla at you right quick. Can't believe you got me again like this. For you, I'm a curve, I'm a side chick. You got me praying for you, I go righteous. The only one before I'm down. Where was all of you before I blow? Now they see me shining, there's no tick on the timing. No. Even though now we are, I'm still needing my love, yeah. It's still you that I want, sweet lady. I no fit tie them no more. Let me give you that assurance. That real gangsta romance. Oh baby, oh. This for my lover. It's a song for the lovers. Yeah, don't wanna be undercover no more. I wanna sing for ya, I wanna sing for ya. No send me hurt ya, but I go do you better. You know you're so special. That's why I sing for ya. That's why I sing for ya. Long time, long time. Yeah, you know, say me love it long time. Then I ain't see you in a long time. Let me sing for you while you're slow wine. Long time, long time. Yeah, you know, say me love it long time. Then I ain't see you in a long time. Let me sing for you while you're slow wine.
Oh baby, one more. Been a long time since you come my way. Style and grace, one embrace. Anytime you should name a time and place. I got me kicking with the bosses. Why for me, baby, done talking. My light skin ting, give me crosses. But your dark skin sweet like chocolate. I don't wanna keep you undercover, but I want you undercovers. Maybe you should be mine, baby. Love you through the winter and the summer. Fuck a day, cause you're my lover. Get it all year round, baby. Full stop to the mothers. Only fuck with niggas for the commas. I know you don't want no other brothers. This one's for my lovers, yeah.
This for my lover. It's a song for the lovers, yeah. Don't wanna be undercover no more. I wanna sing for ya, I wanna sing for ya. No send me hurt ya, I gon' do you better. You know you're so special. That's why I sing for ya. That's why I sing for ya.
Don't give me love.
Girl, I no go do you ojoro. Like bread and butter, we go there together, baby, oh yeah. Pass me your love, make me turn up, oh yeah. The way you do, they make me, they go crazy for you. Them say love be they blind, but I they see I'm for your eye. They remind you I'm my life. Up moon, I give fine. Look around, baby, see what you done to me. See, she don't do me the lies, yeah. Baby, kill day. But till you give me trouble, but till you give me trouble, baby, kill day. Oh, me I go one chop again, me I go one chop again. Yeah.
DJ Perez on the ones and twos.
Don't give me love. Nah, nah. You dey hold me for what? Nah, nah. If you don't want give me love. Nah, nah. Why you dey hold me for what? Nah, nah.
Same shorty where they wine for the dose. You forgive me love before I some put the go. My heart the beat the go slow. Now me I don't know, but I not put you so I got my way, make you want to run away. I don't know again, baby, tell me kill a day. Maya. See, girl I don't hide, I can't stop, and I want chop, but I can't chop, cause you know they. Maya. See, girl I don't hide, girl I can't stop me, But till you give me trouble, but till you give me trouble, baby, kill a day. Oh, me I go one chop again, me I go one chop again. Yeah.
DJ Perez mixing it up.
Don't give me love.
Give me love,
Nah, nah.
yeah.
You dey hold me for what?
For what go?
Nah, nah. Don't give me love. Nah, nah. Why you dey hold me for what?
Yeah, daddy. Now your food I they want chop. Everything go be non-stop. For your sake I go lock up. Shit on me you go want money. My pikin you go gas carry. You go live you no go walk hard. She said I saw the lifestyle they day. I said I saw the lifestyle they play. Chop life. We can eat it all, you can wear it all, girl. That's life. I give it down some words, give it up some words, no shit. Sweet life. For you I sing a song and I'ma put you on, no shit. My life, no shit. Your life.
What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? Or is it because of what you see? Baby, tell me, I want to know.
Say
DJ Perez.
Say my name, baby.
DJ Perez.
Say my name, baby.
DJ Perez.
What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? Or is it because of what you see? Baby, tell me, I want to know.
What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? Or is it because of what you see? Baby, let me know.
I wanna love, I wanna hold you. I wanna kiss, I wanna touch you. I gonna place no one above you. You see, I go place no one above you. Make a shift up your waistline. Think of all the love with your baseline. Every time you do showtime. Money like a moon, you be go time.
Baby, nothing say I don't get mad on my own. Say nothing say I don't get mad on my own. Just say me that you 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 just. I nothing say I don't get my mind. Mommy, give it to me, mommy. Mommy, give me mommy. Mommy, give it to me, mommy. Mommy, give me mommy.
Yeah, I wanna love, I wanna hold you. I wanna kiss, I wanna touch you. I gonna place no one above you. You see, I go place no one above you. Make a shift up your waistline. Think of all the love with your baseline. Every time you be showtime. Money like a moon, you be go time. What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? Or is it because of what you see? Baby, tell me, I want to know.
What do you want from me? Is it true love or justice? Or is it because of what you see? Baby, let me know. If you give it to me, I'll give it to you. If you give it to me, you get what you want. When you give it to me, I'll give it to you. If you give it to me, you get what you want. Baby, nothing say I don't get mad on my own. Say nothing say I don't get mad on my own. Just say me that you 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 just. I nothing say I don't get mad.
Yeah, one be my love repeat. And you know I got the keys to the city, yo. Yeah, sorry, why I took it there. I got the money and the power. Yeah, one be my love repeat. And you know I got the keys to the city, yo. Yeah, sorry, why I took it there. I got the money and the power. Yeah, one be my love repeat. And you know I got the keys to the city, yo. Yeah, sorry, why I took it there. Took it there, took it there, took it there, took it there.
Oh yeah, I go there for you, oh yeah, eh. Boy, you can be the break on out, oh yeah, eh. Girl, I go there for you, oh yeah, eh. Boy, you can be the shoot catapult, oh yeah, eh. This your loving just stay, but I want me see. Oh no no, yeah, your loving just stay, but I want me see. Oh yeah, this your loving just stay, but I want me see. Oh no no, yeah, your loving just stay, but I want me see. Oh no yeah, fine like a mango, let me be a commando. You see my heart like a Django. You get the fire like a Shango. Your booty part I know. You get the vibe I know. You fuck me like psycho. You love the jam I know. Baby. Oh yeah. Oh, 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 oh yeah. Baby, make a day with you, yeah. Yeah, you know I'm fly with you. Oh, I'ma go outside with you. I go tell everybody say I go die for you. Ooh, I know go ever leave you lonely. Yeah, your body bad, I know. You do me nice, I know. Fuck me like psycho. You do me nice, I know. Yeah, your body bad, I know. Omo, you do me nice, I know. Say, I know go ever leave you lonely. Oh, yeah. Boy, you can be the break all out, oh, yeah. Girl, I go low for you, oh, yeah. Boy, you can be the shoe catapult, oh, yeah. This loving must be, I may see, oh, no. Girl, your loving must be, I may see, oh, yeah. This your loving must be, I may see, oh, no. Girl, your loving must be, I may see, oh, yeah. Baby, you should let me love, baby. I know go play you like a football. The money for my uncle and for your push. Baby, I like the way you dey perform. Baby, you should let me love. See, I bless no one above you. I be a Superman, I save you. I say mosquito no go bite you. Hey, then I be a painkiller. Yeah. See, I be a painkiller. I be a medicine, no, then I be a painkiller. Yeah. See, I be a painkiller. If you're not a thief, I thief. If you're not a one person, baby, I go kill the person. Cause you're my fantasy. Yeah. This your love. When they make it mad, this yeah. I thought you get boom mad, whoa. I thought you go buy person, If you let me, kiss I'm not go tell. If you let me kiss you, I'ma teach your body well. I thought you go one person. I thought you go fight, baby, you should let me love. See, I bless no one above you. I be a Superman, I save you. I say mosquito no go bite you. Hey, then I be a painkiller. Yeah. See, I be a painkiller. I be a medicine, no, then I be a painkiller. Yeah. See, I be a painkiller.
I like it. Baby, you should let me love you. Me and see a place no one above you. You be my Draco and Khaleesi. Obio and Sheptio. This love is dangerous. And them just say envious. I like it. Although you they do me well, although no this and that, although you they making my head to swell. You they do my love, child. Although be my medicine day, say you go kill me, yo. You they do my love, child. Although be my medicine, no. You overdose me, yeah. See, baby, you should let me love you. See, I place no one above you. You be my Draco and Khaleesi. You say mosquito no go bite. See, now you be my painkiller.
Into mix. The international boy, DJ Perez.
This sounds so amazing.
Baby, forgetting my innocence. They are trying to separate the love that I'm having for you. But they don't know I am so into you. Now I realize how to be you. Oh, but in a warfare. Oh, they're causing confusion. So my baby, forgetting my innocence. They're causing confusion. To my baby, forgetting my innocence. When everybody underrates you, my girl, I go to appreciate you. You know I can't ever I go die on top of your matter. Cause you're living, never, never. You make me tire, baby. You're causing confusion. You're causing confusion. So my baby, forgetting my genius. You're causing confusion. You're causing confusion. So my baby, forgetting my genius. But I go follow you every day. Access anyone day. Tell me now with idea, baby. I go follow you every day. Say anyone day. Tell me now with idea, baby. Why? Cause you're baby, never, you make me tire, baby. I go die on top of your mother. Cause you're baby, never, you make me tire, baby. You're causing confusion. You're causing confusion. So my baby, forgetting my genius. You're causing confusion. You're causing confusion. I do the beat, I give it beat too. Fire boy, they are so. Means to love it, no matter. Baby, give me that thing, it gon' make me to smile, yeah. Baby, ginger me, make I love you for life, yeah. I'm ready to go, I 7 6 for you, yeah. If I get money, I spend everything on you. You look it, baby, you too fine now. See ya that you wine now, give me that time, baby, you too fine now. I go buy you gold, I go buy you diamond. If I talk a lot more day, the way that she whine, she one of a kind. You go to love my day, she make it rewind. Money by me lady, if I ever go away. Money by me tell it, make you follow me go out. No, they tell me story. Forget it, cha. No, they tell me story. Money get up, manager. No, they tell me story. Oh, no, they tell me story. No, they tell me story. Yeah, no, they give me trouble. Yeah. Say you got a man, but I never seen a man around you. Yeah. Me, I don't go do kele, I be proud of you. Yeah. My baby, I go show you up, make everybody know. Baby, let me love you tight, yeah. Baby, you too fine now. See how that you wine now, give me that time, baby, you too fine now. I go buy you gold, I go buy you diamond. If I talk a lot more day, the way that she whine, she one of a kind. You go to love my day, she make me rewind. Money by me lady, if I ever go away. Money by me tell it, make you follow me go out. Now they tell me so. Forget it, cha. Now they tell me so. Money get up, manager. Now they tell me story. Oh, now they tell me story. Now they tell me story. Yeah. Now they give me trouble. Yeah. Say you got a man, but I never see a man around you. Yeah. Me, I no go do kele, I be proud of you. Say, baby, I go show you up. And baby, I go buy you things so. And baby, I go love you down. Yeah, don't know. Money by me lady, if I ever go away. Money by me tell it, make you follow me go out. Now they tell me so. Forget it, cha. Now they bring it up. Money get down, now they tell me so. Oh, now they tell me so. Now they tell me so. Now they give me so. Te quiero, María. Te quiero, María.
Maria, Maria, Maria.
C'est comme ça, c'est comme c'est. La 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 la. C'est comme c'est comme ça, c'est comme c'est. La 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 la.
Yeah, yeah. Money, I girl body slate. I don't wanna know who you came with. You two they do shakara. Give me a number, let me save it. But for me to get up, love you can't get up. You're now rocking with the fire boy. I'm funny little man girl. You go benefit. You want to put your church in a fit. Mama told you a dada. The mother girls with the people. Say your mama and your papa can be singer. When they born you, they made the ego. And if you're not to chop one tail, to my dick in my tail, my tail. They say everybody got it. I for me love you. Telling me come on love. Adore you. They say everybody got it. I for me love you. Telling me come on love. Adore you. Adore you. The things you do, you don't put me for the mood. Adore you. Look at your back, open me and push it. Adore you. So you the mother with your back, boom boom. Adore you. And I take out the one things that you do. Don't know, I define girls in my condo. See me at the flex with the back of a boat. Shawty give me like a dumb blow. Oh, why you coming slow? How you no go follow me, baby, no be so. If you see my look cool, baby, you go know. It ain't no be joke, I'll share it, no be joke. Yeah, na, but I'm busy, I'll be like. Your melanin on fleek. But I'm busy, I'll be like. Yeah, na, pretty girl from Africa. Man, them a die for your love, oh. Give them with the mad, because everybody got you. I for me love, oh. Telling me come on love. Adore you. Me say everybody got you. I for me love, oh. Yeah. Telling me come on love. Adore you. Adore you. The things you do, you dey put me for the mood. Adore you. Look at your back, open me and push it boom. Adore you. So you the mother with your back, boom boom. Adore you. And I take out the one things that you do. Now what the because of your body, girl, that's why I wanna frisk it out. Money. Yeah, you know me, I never give it up. Baby, give it up. Baby, dance for me physical. Oh, baby, let me be a coming up. Give my friends, let me and we go come. They say, everybody got you. Love for me, love, oh. Telling me come on, love. Adore you. They say, everybody got you. Love for me, love, oh. Yeah. Telling me come on, love. Adore you.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Yes, and a good evening to you, to all our listeners around the world, and welcome, as it says there.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome again to another edition, another evening with us on Starr Radio UK, your finest Afro and African radio station in London. We're transmitting from London for those of you that are watching us from around the globe. And this is where this particular section of these programs come to you every Wednesday, and this is called Naija Voices. Maybe you're joining us for the very first time. This is Naija Voices, and this is where we bring issues affecting Nigerians both in the United Kingdom, where we are living, and also Nigerians back home as well. And this evening, as usual, we were running about 25 minutes behind schedule, or maybe half an hour. And sometimes we do have delays, right here in London. I left home on time, But I'll give you the gist of what happened. If you've not been following me on all my social media handles, you might have not known why I was running a bit late. But I will tell you that just after we take a very, very quick, commercial break. And when we come back, we'll look at so many discussion this evening only on Niger Voices. Stay tuned.
Doctor, social worker, or healthcare professional, are you currently having culpability or disciplinary issues at work? Have you recently been referred to the NMC, ACPC, GMC, any other regulatory bodies? Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, intern, or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abe Akinyoshu of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service on 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you in all aspects of your professionalism, disciplinary proceedings.
Yes, and that is the employment right and employment right representation advisory services, called ERRAS. For those of you that are conversant with this man that has done so well when it comes to helping with the legal matter, legal situation, especially with Nigerians that are in the medical line, whether you are in the a nurse, a midwife, a doctor, social worker, or healthcare professionals, and you have any issues, the only individual that can look into some of the problems. And a lot of families have been happy because sometimes we do wait for problems, and when problems pound up, that is when we are looking for solutions. Sometimes it's better to speak up as quickly as possible, regardless of whatever your problems are, so that you can also get a very, very supportive individuals that can also help you. So if you're joining us on the platform, you know what it is. Good evening. I was expecting your call all the way today, my big auntie Lade Olugbemi. But I can understand that maybe you're busy. You can reach out to me maybe after the program. Thank you all the way from Lagos, Adeolu Akimbomi, and every one of you that are joining. Do us a favor, why not invite another friend of yours by sharing the page and telling them that we're already live and we're here for you, and let us look at issues affecting the community, because this is the reason why we're here. We discuss of issues affecting the community, but this evening as well, we'll be taking you to Benin, where we have one of my we have a lot of artists in Nigeria, and one thing is one good area that is helping the image. There's a lot of area that is helping the image of the country, but if you look at the situation, security and all that, but the music industry has been a very good one, and also we know of the older sector like the the Nollywood, that is also a very good area as well. So this evening, we'll, if the weather here is in UK, I was going to gist you what happened, why I was running late. I left home just like any other person going to work. Got my ticket, got on the train, all the way from Edmonton Green. I traveled far down to the studio just because of every one of you out there from all around the world. And it's not cheap when you go on the train. But one thing is, when there's a bit of rain, situation happened, and there was a signal problem when we got to just before we were pulling into New Cross. For those of you that lives in London will know, where New Cross is. And the train says, I'm no longer going to West Croydon. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen now? I was looking at the time, even though I left home, at a very, very enough time. But these things happen, and I have to travel, from New Cross to Balam, and from Balam, I again have to connect another train. But what was amazing was when I came out of the train from West Croydon, you see, look, corruption in UK does happen, but it's not like Nigeria. The Nigeria one, everyone can say it. I will read a bit of piece from Mosho, one of the a political commentator about immigration, experience he had while he was in Nigeria. I saw him, in Nigeria, before the election. But one thing is, as I was coming out, the oyster, for those of you that lives in London knows what I'm talking about. For those of you outside the country, this is what we use to travel. You can't bypass it. You just have, if you don't have it, it's about 80 pounds. Anyway, I came out of the train and it's telling me you've got minus. Remember, I've loaded money on it before I left Edmonton. And the reason for that was, and this is why this country can monitor a lot of security problems. They can monitor who is who just by that oyster alone. And this is where we need our government to be. I was reading the president saying that technology has helped him, but has technology been used to help the country? So immediately I came out from the station, through the gate, I punched my oyster, and right there it says minus £3.20, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, I've put in enough money, so I shouldn't be minus. Anyway, what has happened was, for those of you that might not understand what happened was, the journey from Edmonton, according to the system, look at the way the system is already planning ahead of you. The system knows that there's no way you should spend more than 2 hours, roaming around, within the train, or on the ground, or overground, or wherever. You must have come out somewhere. So the system believes that I'm trying to bypass something. So he has now charged me over. Anyway, I called them and they're going to refund the money. That is the good thing about this country. The lady I spoke to on the phone, I said, even though it's got nothing to do with you, but I'm really boiling. I've got my listeners waiting on, for me to be on the show at 6 o'clock rather. But I can only say thank you to my producer that have to drive all the way down to pick me up from the station, because I didn't know what was going to happen. But my money is going to be refunded, and that is the good thing of, the good aspect of it. So if you're joining us, share the page, invite your friends. We will have the phone line open as well. The number to the studio is 0208 133 2257 for those of you that are watching us on Facebook. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can also call in 0208 133 2257. Also, if you are also listening to us on Twitter, yes, we are on Twitter, because not everybody's on Facebook. You can also do the same thing as well. So join us this evening and let us share again a bit of what is happening in Nigeria. A lot is happening, but one thing is we can only hope it will get better, and everybody have a role to play as well. I mean, my role will be different from yours, but we must continue to engage. So much is happening, but we were telling you all that. Yesterday, I received, with this job that we do, there's always, calls coming in and, text message. But one came in yesterday, that there will be the First Lady of, Kwara State, was yesterday at the mayor's office in Brent. And I was there, when she came around, that interview, exclusive interview, we will play that. So make sure you tune in, up to the end of the program, and you can listen to, this interview that was given to, the First Lady of Kwara State, Her Excellency, Mrs. Olufolake Abdulrazak. She was once here, working with the Nigerian High Commission. For a lot of Nigerians that knows her very well, and she was with the mayor of Brent yesterday. And I'm sure a lot of you that are following on all my social media handles must have seen the pictures and all that. But we would have that interview that I did with her, an exclusive one, some of what I asked her was, what are the plans? Because a lot of time you see images coming out of Nigeria. It doesn't matter whether from the north to the southeast to the southwest. And my concern is more about the children. You saw the president visiting the IDP camp just last week. It looks like the president, is listening to my program. And that is why, the president decided, to visit the IDP camp, because last week I did mention that the situation where Nigerians are refugee is just uncalled for. I can't understand it. Nigerians living inside the country, and yet we have lots of them scattered all over the different states. And the president made a visit to one of the IDP camps. I'll be giving more information on which particular one that the president was. The president visited the IDP camp, and it's a shame that a country that that is the sixth largest oil producer in the world. We have people. I mean, let's worry less about those that are leaving the country, for whatever reason. You can't tell anyone not to travel out of the country, but sometimes you got to be careful, because there's a young guy that that chatted me up 2 days ago, and he has been duped by this agent. I'll tell you more about that, because he believes that just visiting a letter of invitation alone guarantee visa. I don't know, maybe you can guarantee that, but a lot of people don't understand the immigration rules, especially in UK and other part of the world. So you got to be careful so that you are not throwing your money into something else. So the president, yes, made a visit to. Buhari pays a sympathy. That is what the headline says. Sympathy visit to the IDP in Batsari in Katsina. And you wonder, a country that have wealth, that have everything, but yet we are unable to build a new homes, for some of these IDPs. Let's use them as a case study to set up a whole new community, so that rather than living in the IDP and being fed every day, by these NGOs and, people making money out of it as well. We saw Babachi Lawal, where in a monument for the IDP for cutting of the grass, about 200 million naira. We don't even know. Nigeria is a case study, you just sometimes look at the situation at home. But, we got to say that we will continue to have that conversation only
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, sir, we are the leading, and if anyone is leading, you're probably not sure. This is the leading station. I will play the sound clip from the president. Thank you very much, Tiwa TV, Abdul Rahman Asuni. I can see you there. As soon as you're coming in, share the page, start a new page of, this Facebook, if you're watching something on Facebook, you can also start watch. So do that, because the more we get the message out there, like I said, someone must have told the president, or somebody in the presidency was listening to this program last week, because I've been on the case of, we can't continue to have Nigerians inside Nigeria as refugee. I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, I feel really, really uncomfortable, with that, because it's like we see people leaving the country through, this Libya, because people believe when you get to Libya, you can get to Europe. But we've seen so many people that died along that route. Those are refugees. But having one inside the country, because of the insurgency that took place, the government said they are fighting insurgency. Whether you saw the news or not, even the police are paying ransom. This is where we're gonna be bringing in some little bit of something to just spice it up a little bit this evening on Naija Voices, and it can only be Timaya. One thing is, Nigeria will be a better place, but we all have a role to play. I'll play that sound clip from the visit of the president, but before that, let's take a listen to this. Thank you very much, Adefunke, for joining. if you want to dance as well, sometimes, people might say, the Nigerian situation doesn't worth dancing for. But sometimes, because people like us, we see things daily. And the only way we can take it out of ourselves so that we don't get breakdown, because sometimes there are some images that get sent to me, I can't even show it at all. Thank you very much, Ola Ojora, for joining. Keep sharing the page. This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
If only every politician is doing the right thing, Nigeria will be a better place. Do you agree with me? Put a comment there. Let's listen to you. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, Niger Voices, every Wednesday from 1800 hours. When I went to Nigeria this year, I'm thinking, you think my brain is thinking too much. This year, and with the courtesy of a special visit to the Naval office, even though to get there is a problem, I'm told you're gonna use the 24 hours clock when you're dealing with those kind of individuals.
Politicians show some love.
Apostle Thompson Terry, thank you for joining. Keep sharing the page. This is Niger Voices on Star Radio UK.
Politicians have mercy on us.
You must have mercy on the people. What the president said at that IDP camp is going to be the next thing we're going to be playing. Make sure you tune in. Don't go anywhere. If you're just coming home, it's raining here in London. I don't know what the weather is where you are. You can tell us. Leave a comment as well. Thank you very much, Ola Ojora. Welcome back to London, Loco International. One way to New York is back to Reading, where things happen. Kamaruddin Aman, keep sharing the page, invite your friend, and let us have a conversation. You can call the studio line as well on 0208-133-2257. And this is where we bring to you Niger Voices every Wednesday.
I know say politicians carry our money go overseas.
They keep bringing the money here, just right here in UK, in US, in Canada. People are dying on a daily basis. Even the police are paying ransom to security for them to get their guys out of the kidnapping. Is becoming messy.
Anything we do, please, pity for us. So politicians have mercy on us.
Where is the kingpin that was arrested in Taraba that lost, where 3 diligent, hardworking, police officer? We know we have the corrupt one. Jagumolu Lasisi, you got to be careful. You're in Nigeria. Don't ask or question the police why they are collecting a gunje on the motorway. I remember when I was in Nigeria, last year, not this year, exactly last year, and we were traveling to Ondo State. And we got to a location, and a lot of you that follow that trip with me, because when I'm traveling, I carry you along and I bring in so many things. Thank you very much, Clifford, for joining as well. This is Niger Voices every Wednesday on
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station. This is Star Radio UK.
If you're thinking, where do I find, because sometimes when people share the page, you are thinking, okay, who is this? My name is Olayomi Koike, and I'm the host of this program every Wednesday from 1800 hours. You can sponsor the program. You can advertise your own business or services right here. And if you have any event, or anyone, maybe the politicians, a business person that is coming into the country, you want us to get in touch and interview them, this is where you're going to get all those information. Exclusive interview with the First Lady of Kwara State. Kwara State used to be PDP. I think it used to be APC before there was all this, mixed match of fighting between the former Senate President Olubukola Saraki, and the moved to PDP, and they said, Oto girl, you know that slang now, when that election was coming up, and they lost, to APC. So APC is controlling Kwara State. Yesterday, an exclusive interview with the First Lady of Kwara State, Mrs. Olufolake Abdurazak. Make sure you tune in so that you can listen to that clip later on before the end of the program. This is Niger Voices. And let's take a listen to what the president said when he visited the IDP, president met victims of armed banditry. It is only in Nigeria that people are scared, to travel from one end to another, and you can't blame them. If you see the amount of atrocity that is being committed on some of this highway, even up to today, if you're following things in Nigeria, you would not even hear some of them on the social media like we do. I'm telling you, a lot of Nigerians are scared and worried, and even the president is saying, when he met some of these victims of the armed banditry on a visit to the IDP in Batsari. Let's take a listen to what the president was saying.
Da 'yan ta'adda suke yi, da yarda Allah za mu yi amfani da sojoji da 'yan sanda da sauran ma'aikatan gwamnati mu ga bayansu insha Allah.
President Buhari, however, enjoined the people to share all information about the bandits and other criminal elements in their areas with security operatives for hastened action. While acknowledging Katsina State government's effort at facilitating the operational capabilities of the security agencies posted to the area, the president directed NEMA to act fast and lend appropriate support to the victims in all the affected frontline local government areas. Governor Aminu Bello Masari confirmed massive deployment of security personnel and equipment to the state on the orders of the president. This, amongst other measures adopted, he said, are pointers to the seriousness with which the security concern is being addressed by the federal government.
The Katsina State government really appreciates the federal government concern over our deteriorating security situation. The recent deployment of additional security personnel and the equipment to this area has led to the drastic reduction in the frequency of the attacks. But there are still sporadic attacks with attendant kidnap and cattle rustling incidents.
This he attributed to the vastness of Ruga forest that provides cover for the criminal elements. On his part, the Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, advised the people against reprisal attacks, which he said could lead to anarchy, and called for more patience and tolerance as security agencies tackle those against the progress of the state and indeed the nation.
Well, that is about it. The president still, I hope he will be making his way back to Abuja very soon, because there's a lot of serious issue that the president needs to look into. But this is a show that the president, I'm sure somebody is listening to, because IDP has been one area that, I feel very concerned about, because the condition where these people are living, is just really unacceptable. If we have 9 million Nigerians that are out of jobs, why can't we just use, those 9 millions to fix so many problems in Nigeria? And you just keep wondering, how do we move things, from the situation where we are at the moment? Like I said, if you're joining for the first time, this is Starr Radio UK. We'll be going to Benin, I guess, very soon, where on standby is, Mike D, where he's going to be telling us a little bit more of himself. Michael Akpoworo, he's on standby in Benin City, where he's going to be giving us, a little bit of his music. And we will come back to agriculture, because that is one of the areas that the government is really, trying to make sure that Nigerians can feed themselves. Before we talk about export, a lot of people are talking about export, but sometimes when I talk about export, people say even people at home are hungry. I beg, leave export alone. So let's see if we can go straight to, my guest that is waiting on the other side of the globe. And as soon as I have him there, we will push him through let's hope the network is good as well, because Nigeria. Okay, it looks like I've got a signal all the way from Nigeria. Hello, good evening. Okay, yes, loud and clear. We can hear you right here in London. I hope you can hear us as well clearly on the other side of the globe.
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
That's it. And this is an exclusive interview, not the one from the First Lady. The First Lady one, you got to have to be patient. You know, when they are cooking soup now, you got to make sure that soup is ready before you start, tampering with it. So right now, we have, I know him as Mike Dollar, but, he has a name. And I would allow him, to introduce himself properly, because every name has a meaning. And the pronunciation of our names, if you don't get those names right, especially if you're dealing with, some of these, elite, no problem, and I don't like problem at all. Thank you very much, Dotun Adebo. I'll be keeping some of your, content on the Facebook. But before then, let's go back to my guest that is joining us on a WhatsApp call all the way from Nigeria. Good evening once again, and if you would like to introduce yourself, I'd like you to speak up as much as you can so that we can hear you to my listeners around the globe.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your show this evening. Thank you. So my full names are Ogene Akporobo Michael Akporowo, but I'm popularly known as Mike D. So the Mike stands for Michael, while the D stands for Divine. So Mike Divine, that's Mike D. That's my name.
Wow, that is a very good one. I'm trying to find you, on YouTube. I know, is it Mike Dollar you're using or all one word?
It's Mike D Official.
Just Mike D Official. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. While we are trying to pull you out there, see if I can. Nothing is coming up at the moment, but let's continue with the conversation while I'm still, trying to find you on the YouTube, because I got some of your music already that we'll be listening to as well. Thank you once again for joining us all the way from Nigeria. Nigeria is a great country. A lot of people might be losing hope, but when you have people like you that are doing a little bit out of your own little thing, content is very important. And it doesn't matter what area, whether you are agriculturist, whether you are economics, it doesn't matter. But you are an artist and you are not giving up yet on Nigeria. Let me first go into that before we go into a little bit about your background. As a Nigerian today, are you giving up on Nigeria, or you are still thinking things will happen?
Wow, Nigeria is a beautiful country. So it's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to live. So I'm not giving up on Nigeria. Rather, I'm doing what I'm doing to support the country. I mean, country a better place. And the music I sing tries to put all those things in reality. So my music content talks about the positivity of life, especially the word of God. And the word of God is actually what this country needs, and the word of God is changing this country every day. So my music is changing the world, it's changing Nigeria for good. So Nigeria is a beautiful place to be. So
wow,
we're very happy. Yeah.
And this is where I say you can't give up on Nigeria, and especially the diaspora. We can't, because when we have individuals like you at home telling me that you are not giving up. Let's start a little bit. What part of Nigeria are you at the moment, for the benefit of my listeners around the globe?
Okay, I'm in Benin City, Nigeria right now.
Benin City. Give us a feel of, what Benin City, for an average person that is hearing maybe for the first time. Look, somebody might never have had Benin before, but if you are meant to sell that state today, what is something that you can tell us about Benin? Benin has a history, very good history, but you just tell us a little bit of your understanding, as someone that was born and bred, in Benin City.
No, I wasn't. They didn't give birth to me in Benin City.
Okay.
I grew up in Delta State.
Wow.
But right now, I reside in Benin City. So Benin City is a very beautiful place, rich heritage culture, and beautiful people living in here, and it's a place where you're free to do whatever you want to do, and it's a place of love, a place of peace, a place of harmony. The place is it's lovely. So when you are in Benin City, you're comfortable. So it's a very comfortable place to live. And I advise anyone that wants to come to Benin City, come and enjoy yourself. The people are beautiful, the people are loving, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Wow, thank you very much for that. That bit of background, and that is something that you can get. You can only I said only get that on. You can only get that on Star Radio UK. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Let's go into a little bit about you. We've had you before on the show. Was it last year we had you on the show? I think was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, last year.
Last year. So it's always good to to welcome you back again, and to all your fans around the world. Right here in UK as well. We say thank you for joining us again. Tell us,
thank you.
A lot of people will say, I've been singing since I was in, in my mother's womb. I hope that is not your own case.
No, not at all.
So give us a background of why music, why not something else, and what put you through into going into music.
Okay, I started singing at the age of 9, so I joined the choir at the age of 9. I played the musical instruments, and from there I fell in love with music the first day I joined the choir, and that was when I was 9 years old. And after that, it has been like that. So the passion for music, not just music, gospel music, it has been amazing. So from there, at the age of 16, I wrote my first official song. So 16, 17, I did my first song, and it was amazing. So professionally, I started singing at the year 2015 professionally. So from 2015 up to now, it's been amazing. It's been beautiful. So
wow,
that's it. Started singing at the age of 9.
At the age of 9, and looking back up to now, what was something that before we look into the music industry, just tell us more about the kind of music, because we know we have different music in Nigeria today. What kind of music are you singing?
I do Afrobeats, Afropop gospel music, and that's what I do.
Afro-pop, gospel.
Afrobeats, Afropop gospel music, yes.
Okay. So, in terms of the music industry, is one industry that is also shining. It's bringing the best out of Nigerians, and maybe that's the reason why you think you don't have to leave Nigeria, because you're making money as well. Maybe because of the influence. Well, it's true, because it's one area that is is really, really going very well. Maybe somebody selling plantain, or somebody selling somebody in the farm that is not making money, but we'll be discussing that before the end of the program. So that is why you are saying Nigeria is good for you. Is that true, or maybe
Nigeria is good? It's true. Nigeria is good. It's a place of it's a place where you can make money. So you are not restricted. So you can be whatever you want to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much all the way from US to Kumbalani, Karim Akonde. We hope you will join us before the end of the program. We can get some of your input Sunday as well. Sholanke, Angela, all the way from America. A very full house we have. Say Domo Alaja. And every one of you, keep sharing the page. Sheyi Adebakin. We also have a very important, a former, he contested for the Lagos State governorship election. Is listening. I can see him already. Babatunde Ogbadamosi. Thank you very much for joining. We will have him very soon. In the studio we will have him, and he will tell us more of his plan. But right now, if you're joining us for the first time, this is Niger Voices, where we discuss issues. Mike is telling me Nigeria is good. He's an artist. He's in Benin City right now, and we're just taking some bit of understanding of what music is like on his own side of the globe. Mike, someone listening
Yes,
to
sir.
you right now, we say, that, like I said, the sector is a very good one. I'm still trying to find you. I know I should have got this ready, but again, on YouTube, so that we can have some of your beats as well while the interview is going on. But I will get that in just a few minutes. For the benefit of someone listening to us right now,
Okay.
what will you say are the challenges? Because one thing is to see stars and people doing very well, but there are also challenges, and I'm sure every sector have challenges from the country to what you're doing, and also
Okay.
challenges as well within the sector that you are also putting out your own content.
Okay. So with that, I'll say challenges they come, but the most important thing is that it's how you handle those challenges, and challenges sometimes are your next level to wherever you want to go to. So I can say the challenges I've encountered them several times have uplifted me, and they've been my driving force. So if someone is facing any kind of challenge right now in the musical sector, yeah, it depends on the person. So the challenge should be a driving force to push the person to the next level, and that's what it has done for me. So right now, I see challenges, I welcome challenges, and then I move on it, and I'm up to my next level. So it's normal, but you need to be focused and
With the situation of the country at the moment, what are the challenges from the country to what you are doing? Because everyone look at Nigeria as a problem, but some of us, and maybe one, out of 200, we say we can also fix some of those problems. Being in the music industry, that you are, what are the challenges from the either the economic aspect of the country, what is those challenges that you are facing that can maybe would have made a bit of impact to what you're doing? Okay, that is part of the challenges. You can hear that, tum tum tum, and that is only in Nigeria. Okay, we lost him there. We will have him back, in just few minutes while we're doing that. Again, this is Star Radio
Swan
UK.
DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, sir, is the leading and Afro-African Caribbean radio station in London, and I guess we still have Mike Dollar back with us. Hello, good evening. Can you still hear me? Okay, these are the challenges. Hello, can you hear me, Mike? Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, well, some of those challenges are exactly what we are discussing now. So I was asking you, what are the challenges that you are facing as an artist in Nigeria, looking at the situation of the country?
Okay, for that, I don't think I'm facing any kind of challenge right now, because where I'm coming from, I'm a member of the Believers Love World Nation, and everything I ever need as regards to my musical career and the rest, I have all the support from my man of God, highly esteemed man of God, Pastor Chris Oyakilome. So everything is just working well for me. You don't think I have any challenges?
Wow,
Which I don't think so. So
I'm
everything
talking
is working
about,
out well.
so what you're saying is, with the music sector that you are in, you don't have challenges, and the problem is, as much as I understand that, everyone has faith, but we believe that the faith shouldn't have anything to do with having the country to be able to put the right things in place, and some of those right things in place. If you're looking at some of your colleagues outside the country, maybe in US, in Canada, in Germany, doing the same thing, I'm sure they won't be have to go to their religious leader or maybe have anything to do with religious to be able to get things done. That is the area I'm looking at. So maybe, if you want to answer to that.
Okay,
I'm listening.
that question would be very, very kind of somehow. Now, the kind of music I do and the kind of music they do, it's not the same thing. You get?
Okay.
So I'm in the gospel world, and maybe probably they are in the secular world. So from the world I'm talking from, I don't think I have encountered any sort of challenge that kind of weigh me down. No.
Okay.
So it's like that. It's like that. So
Okay.
they know where they're coming from.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to one of your. I mean, this one I think we listened to last year. You will tell us what you've done up to this year. But if you're joining us, this is Niger Voices coming to you on Star Radio UK, and this is Billionaire, by Mike D featuring Frankly X M Trust.
Yes, I'm a rich in dollars. I'm a rich in pounds. I'm a rich in Kuwait. I'm a rich in other currencies. Oh, no, no, I'm rich in all things. Yes, I'm rich in all things. I'm a billionaire. I'm rich in all things. Billionaire, that's who I am now. Billionaire, 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 billionaire. That's who I am.
That is Billionaire. Yeah, I said it from the beginning of the show. A lot of the artists are making so much money, and that's why you must have sang that song, Billionaire. Last year when we had it on the show, it was Billionaire, and I'm sure that money is already rolling. Even as of today, somebody's telling me the reason why the exchange rate is falling down is because people like you are keeping money as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's why the foreign exchange is dropping. But on a serious note, you sang Billionaire last year. I just want our listeners to listen a little bit more for about a minute or so, and then I can let you respond back to why that song. I asked you last year why that song, and we can look at some of the ones that you've done after that, Billionaire. I think I enjoyed that word, billionaire. Only if all Nigerians are billionaire. Even not billionaire, let them have 3 square meal on a daily basis.
The way I'm so easy, you go to say I be farmer. Faith is my currency, I don't hammer. The life I'm living is the life of giving. The seed of Abraham, coming, Mr. Billionaire. We're moving, up on the floor we go, we're moving. We're spreading, anywhere we go, we're spreading the money. We're moving, up on the floor we go.
And that is Mike Dollar, why Billionaire last year, and then we can look at some of your new track that you've done this year.
Okay, that song was inspired by the Holy Ghost, and it's a song every Nigerian needs to listen to, and it's a song that will bless the whole body of Christ and
okay, we're losing you there.
The word, when you keep talking about
okay. Hello? Okay, we can hear you, but it looks like it's okay. You can continue. I think it'll be better now.
Okay. I said that song was inspired by the Holy Ghost, and looking at the context in that song, these are words you talk to yourself about, and eventually you see those words coming to pass. And right now, everybody in Nigeria and in other parts of the world, they need a song like this, and they need to be hearing songs like this every day. Before you know what's happening, you will become what you're saying, you will become what you're singing. And whoever will listen to this song, you will be blessed. Apart from being blessed, your life will talk about the things that are encapsulated in the song. So it's a song for everyone in the world. Listen to it, talk the word, you will become what the song is talking about. So that's it.
Talked about it, believe in it. So what have you since we had you almost a year ago as well? I mean, when we had the last conversation with you right here in the studio, what has also, I'm looking at Thank God, is that the new release or something have come after that or before that?
Yeah, after Billionaire, I Prosper, and it was released by the International Stars Records in the US. So after that, I released Thank God, and Thank God is trending right now all over the world.
Okay,
Now I'm
let
working
us
on a new
thank God
project
first. Let's listen
titled
to the Thank God, and then we will come back to you, our listeners. Let's enjoy Thank God by Mike D. We must thank God because as long as you're still alive, there's a lot of problem in Nigeria, but we will deal with that after this conversation, on Niger Voices.
God has given me a life no one else could give. Give me reasons to sing and dance and dance. God has given me a life no one else could give. Give me reasons to sing and dance. I sing for you.
Thank you very much, K Bossman, for joining on Nobi all the way from Ibadan. Thank you for joining as well. So, Thank God is your new, that is trending at the moment. Why Thank God? I know
Yeah.
people must thank God, but why? Why? Tell me a little bit more. Why Thank God?
Okay, that song was inspired by the Holy Ghost too, and seeing what God had done in my life for the past few years and few months, I just thought about thanking God for what He's done. Because when you thank God for what He has done, you are telling God to. So that song just came and that was it. Anyone that listens to the song, they want to listen again because God is worthy to be praised. We need to thank Him every day. He has done a lot. He has done a lot, and we can't thank God enough. So this is my little way of telling God, thank you for what He's done for me and for the things He's yet to do. So it's an amazing song. It's an amazing song. And this song sometimes makes me cry. When I sing the song, I'm like, wow, God, you've done so much. So it makes me cry sometimes. And
Let me take you
that's
back.
it.
Let me take you back. We play a little bit more from that. That track, and let's play that. And then I could, while I'm playing that, the question is, the hope that people still have in the country called Nigeria. Even looking at all the situation at the moment, but people still give thanks to God. But as an artist, sometimes, people will say, well, even though your music might not be the kind of music from like the fella, the video and all that. But what I want to know from you is, what kind of music are you also thinking of to impact, the psychology, the orientation of Nigerians, so that we can think of a better country because everyone has a role to play, and your role as an artist, because you have an influence to a lot of people, and those music has a good message out there. So the question is again, what will you be doing to get a kind of because if you believe in Nigeria, you must also put out things that we believe that country will change, and part of that is again using your own music to do that. So think of that in preparedness, but for the time being, let's listen to Thank God.
You are my all I know. Yeah, you are my destiny. You are the one I
And if you want to continue joining with the the music at the background as well, you can give us a bit of your own voice rather than the one we're listening to right here. But again, this is Thank God. This is Niger Voices every Wednesday on Star Radio UK. On the line with me all the way from Benin City is Mike Dollar. So looking at this, thank God, let's come back to you. Like I said, what is something that you are looking at? Hello, I hope you can still hear me. Hello?
I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, I just want you to respond to the question, that I did ask you earlier on.
Go on again.
Okay.
Go on. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, the question I asked you was, what is this? What is something that you are going to be doing, to influence as an artist? Because we keep complaining about the country, but yes, you're putting out music out there. You believe in Nigeria, but what is something that you can also do, as an artist, to change, some of the orientation of Nigerians that are still thinking, well, there is nothing that is there in Nigeria, or maybe if we talk about this using the music platform, it doesn't matter whether from the gospel, from the R&B, from the bashment, or whatever, from the Afrobeat. But what is it something that you can do as an individual with your music?
Okay, thank you for that question. And thank God, that's the reason why I'm doing the kind of music I'm doing right now, because my music sounds as lots of inspiration to to everyone in Nigeria. So every content in my music pass a message of positivity, a message of inspiration and motivation for everyone in Nigeria. So one of the things I'm doing right now is because right now what Nigeria needs is the word of God. So the solution in this country is in the word of God. So my music contains the word of God, and that's what I'm doing right now, putting great in mind. Because right now, what Nigeria needs to change now is a mindset, to change the mindset of Nigerian and Nigerians, and just move on. Because if their mindsets are changed, Nigeria will change. So that's it. My music is it's motivating them and inspiring them to do better things. So
Wow! Just in less than a minute, a message to your fans and how they can reach out to you. If they like to reach out to you before we let you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I want to say a very big thank you to Star FM UK. Thank you,
Starr Radio UK,
so much for the beautiful work. Thank you, Starr Radio UK. Thank you so much for the beautiful work. I'm so grateful. I want to say very special thanks to One Eye Entertainment in the US. I want to say a very big thank you to. I want to say a very big thank you to you. Just too much. Undersea Promotions in South Africa, and Iroko Event International. They're bringing a big platform to Lagos, and I'll be in Lagos very soon for that special event taking place on the 19th to 22 in Lagos.
That's Chief Komolafe Olatunde.
Event
Yes,
International.
yes, we'll be following that as well. That's
Thank
a big event coming up. And
yeah, okay, you're following that. Okay,
wow.
It's going to be a beautiful event. Assembly at the Rare Musical Festival taking place in Lagos. So I'll be there live. And I want to thank my family, my loved ones for what they've been doing, supporting my music here and there. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that is Mike Day, all the way from Benin City. Just before we go, what would be a favorite food for somebody traveling to Benin this evening or flying into Nigeria and say, okay, let me come down to Benin. What food will you recommend for that kind of person?
Okay, someone that is traveling to Benin City right now?
Yes.
Okay. You should come. It's a beautiful place. Come.
I say,
come,
what kind of food
yourself.
will you offer them? That's what I'm saying. Maybe you didn't get a question.
The food. Okay, come and eat egusi soup and pounded yam.
That's it. Egusi soup and pounded yam. That is Mike Day. Thank you very much.
Yam, yeah.
Thank you very much all the way from Benin City. Well, that is Mike Day all the way from Benin City. Let us play a little bit and then we go back to the discussion right here.
For the liquid love you shared, Lord, I'm so grateful. You done my life around. You know that
The guy said, word of God. Yes, word of God. But, we've been discussing about word of God for a very long time in Nigeria. That country there's still a lot that need to be discussed. Mindset, yes, the mindset of Nigerians needs to change. That is very important. Thank you very much, Mike D, all the way from Benin City. And you can join him in Lagos. We might be in Lagos as well in time for the Adire Festival by Chief Komolafe Omotunde. Let's listen to Mike Dollar. Anifo Woshe Ismail Akoni, thank you very much. And also Ebun Bangboye, thank you for joining the Naija Voices. You're going to listen to the exclusive interview with the First Lady of Kwara State, Her Excellency Mrs. Oluwafolake Abdulrazak. And this is Naija Voices. If you're joining for the first time and you are not sure, where you are, it is every Wednesday
online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, and the phone line is open for those of you that might want to join the conversation on 0208 133 2257. Agriculture, the president, we're not getting the list of the portfolio of each of these ministers, but the president was quite passionate about agriculture, and I'm sure if you've been following that, and, let's see, maybe this time around, the Minister for Agriculture will do the right thing, because the president was, if you look at the message the president put out through the, his media aid, it looks like the former Minister of Agriculture, didn't perform as expected. But before that, let's take a break to the Employment Rights Representative and Advisory Services that take care of the nurses, the midwives, the healthcare professional and the social worker. Those are sectors that are very delicate. And those sectors, we need them more in Nigeria. But whether those sectors... But it looks like we've got a caller coming in. Let's take this call first and then we'll go straight to the short break. Hello, good evening and welcome to Naija Voices.
Hello, good evening. My name is Karim.
Okay, all right. Reduce the sound on the background. Hold on there. Let's take a short break and we'll come back to you. Don't go anywhere, but let's just take the short break. But just reduce the sound set, because I can hear something, at the background. But let's take the short break and we will go straight to Dr. Karim Akonde that will be joining us this evening so that we can look at those issues affecting us back home in Nigeria.
Are you a nurse, midwife, doctor, social worker, or healthcare professional? Are you currently having capability or disciplinary issues at work? Have you recently been referred to the NMC, ACPC, GMC, any other regulatory bodies? Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, interim or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abiaki Oshun of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service on 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you in all aspects of your professionalism, disciplinary.
Yes, their team is ready. It's up to you to also make sure that you call them and find out more, because don't wait till the problem becomes big problem, and don't wait to complain, because for 4 years the president was complaining about the previous government. But someone that can help us to look at some of this issue, is a very good friend of the station, and also a contributor to the platform here on Naija Voices. He was in Nigeria as well as an observer, or to make sure that things were done properly. But I'm sure a lot of us think things will be done properly. But this is where we are, where the president is visiting Katsina State. He's in Katsina, but visiting a IDP camp. Why in the last 4 years that IDP camp has not even been taken out of it, that we don't even hear the word IDP camp. But anyway, let's go now to Dr. Karim. Thank you very much for joining us on Naija Voices this evening.
Thank you, Olayemi, for having me.
Thank you very much. There's a lot on the table, The time will be going as quickly by the time we start touching on it, but I don't know which area you want to touch on first. But my focus again this evening is on agriculture. There's a lot of issues on the table. We can't deal with every issue in one go. And that is why we come in every Wednesday. But where are you picking us and where are you taking us to this evening on Niger Voices?
Basically, there are a couple of events that have happened in Nigeria in the last couple of weeks. However, the most important that came on top of every other issue should be the arrest of Omoyele Sowore. Because you see, when we talk about agriculture, when we talk about security, there must be something we must not cease to emphasize, that no sector of the economy in Nigeria will develop at the expense of the other. The heads of government must appoint a think tank group of people who will man experts, technocrats, who will man different sectors of the economy, and they will develop at the same pace. You cannot develop the security sector while the agriculture sector suffers. The social, economic, and political economy of the country will not allow one sector to develop at the expense of the other or at the aloof of the other. However, what I'm trying to say is that the democratic rule or democracy can be simply defined as government of the people by the people. And democracy in Nigeria, it simply means that when people are vying for office, they promise the millions of the poor people to uplift them from the current poverty state, and they campaign on based on cardinal points. And we have not seen this, which was what prompted the likes of Sowore to be on the streets to protest. And what we have seen the agents of the state do is to kidnap this young man at the wee hour of the night or in the morning. I mean, irrationally, unjustifiably, and keeping it. See, we cannot talk about agricultural sector why we don't have a democracy. We must have a basis. We must have a system first before we talk about that system. Do we really have democracy in Nigeria? So when we all have agreed that there is no democracy in Nigeria, in fact, in the academic sector...
Sorry to interject, Dr. Karim, but people will say we've been in democracy since 1999. So what do you mean we're not in democracy? I don't understand. Maybe you want to... I'm sorry, I'm taking away from your conversation, but I just thought I chipped that in.
I mean, if we have to define democracy, then you will agree with me that we are not in a democracy, because democracy is defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Is the government of the people, do we have a government of the people today in Nigeria, where 30,000 minimum wage has been on the table of government for over 7 months, and the MPs in the country earn more than 20 million a month? The masses are, the poverty has been weaponized. Have you seen the protest today, where people are standing by to get 1,000 just to protest against the original protester, the organic protesters, who are coming to protest the incarceration and detention of one of theirs? Whereas you see these organized, purchased people who have gathered to take placards from their sponsors to protest or to counter the protest of the original protest. So, in such a society, in such a system, you cannot say democracy is there. If we have to define democracy, democracy simply means government of the people by the people. Do we have government of the people today? If we have a government of the people, basic need of the people will be looked into. Number one, what the Constitution guarantees is safety and security of people and properties in Nigeria. Okay, let's put that on the table. As safety of the people being the priority of this government, as security of life and property being the priority of this government, what you will hear them do is the allocation, swearing in, fighting over principal offices, fighting over committees, fighting over their allowances, and those are the things you will hear. Corruption, Buhari bringing back old set of people who have destroyed the country. So, on that basis, we will say we don't have a democracy. That is one, by definition. Two, if you go to the academic department, in the academic community, you will realize that the academicians and the academians in Nigeria, they have come to agree that we have a pseudo democracy, a fake democracy, because democracy, one of the principal, the main democratic tenet is election. Do we have election in Nigeria? So if we have to go into this, I mean, we don't want to delve into a lot of ideological and political concepts, which will consume the whole of our time. These issues are left to the academic to define. So those are the concepts, those are the definitions that define democracy and let us know if we are in a democracy. So Nigeria is an upcoming country that is trying to embrace democracy, but we don't have a democratic system. Our election is marred by corruption, by bribery. You can see from places people cannot come out and vote. I was listening to one journalist from the water side in River State. The level of fear there, the level of death, people with arms and ammunition, they will not allow you to go out and cast your vote. We have seen evidences being tendered at the tribunal by other political parties of how elections were rigged, how results were written. I also monitored election. So those are the tenets of a democratic system. We do not have these indices.
But the president will say, you know,
just democracy. We are trying to be a democracy.
Just to go back to,
yeah.
Yeah, sorry to to talk over you. Just to go back to you started with the arrest of Omoyele Sowore, but the government says there were millions of Nigerians that were just going on their day-to-day activities, and they voted the party in, they voted the government in, and the will of the people must be accepted by individuals that lost during the election. It was not voted for in the first place, and then trying to come back to use revolution to according to the government to to the DSS, which we played last week, to create chaos in the country.
I mean, a couple of government agencies have also come to various programs. They said the protest tag revolution now. They have come to a conclusion. They have come to agree that it was just a protest that was being tagged. I mean, for example, if you are going for a meeting or symposium or convention are tagged with a definition. What Omoyele has tagged the August 5 protest was Revolution Now protest. Everybody knows Sowore is a protester, has been protesting for more than 2 decades. So, unfortunately, the government knows that it could snowball, it could wake people up from the incapacitated system that has held people down over the years. That is why they did what they did. However, if we have to go straight to analyze the content of the protest, there was nothing tracing, there was nothing out of place. What Sowore has intended to do on August 5, as Nigeria, the constitution of the country guarantees freedom of organization, freedom of expression. He was trying to gather people to protest the abysmal, the ridiculous state of affairs in our country. I mean, the protest has an agenda.
So what would happen now to now that Omoyele Sowore has been held captive? I mean, he's been held now by the law they've allowed the court have allowed the DSS to hold him for the next 45 days. So what would happen? I mean, what would happen after 45 days from your own understanding?
Yeah, I think the lawyers are up to the task. They will continue to engage the Department of State Security Services, and the civil society organization will continue to protest the unconstitutional arrest and detaining Omoyele Sowore with regards to that. However, I think what you made mention of earlier with regards to agriculture, the president himself has somewhat agreed that Aldo, the former minister for Agri, during the last tenure, has not performed well. That's why he said, President Buhari said, this time around, he's going to appoint an expert who's going to man that department. You see, as I said earlier, no sector of the economy will develop overnight. There must be a coordinated effort by government to develop all sectors of the economy simultaneously. Let me give you an example. If you appoint somebody from Harvard University who is an agricultural expert to come and develop agriculture in Nigeria, you will have to tackle contract issuing. Federal Executive Council have to approve budget. Budget delay has been our culture. So these are the indices. For example, transporting fertilizer from one end to the other, security of road and property, and that will facilitate this movement. You have to tackle that. And currently, we have inadequacy or insufficient of security men that will follow equipment. You have to procure up-to-date, latest, and current technological development that aids mass production of agricultural produce. So these things are not something that somebody, an expert who has been appointed to the Department of Agri will ensure overnight.
Let me just come in there and sorry again, as I know our time is really strained tonight, and I also want to chip in some few things as well, but bear with me and listeners as well. Sorry, I'll have to come in at some point in between. Once again, if you're joining, this is Niger Voices. I'm on the phone with us, from Birmingham here in United Kingdom is Dr. Karim Akonde, a contributor to the program. I'm listening. I was reading the press statement from the president, and the reason why we're looking into the agriculture sector, this evening. The president says, and this is from his, his media aid at 1900 hours, just almost this time yesterday. I will fight for the poor. The president Buhari assures Nigerians. President Buhari on Tuesday in Daura, Katsina said he will use a second term in office to improve the lives of Nigerians by paying close attention to the poor and those on the lower rungs of the society. Going back to the agriculture, which is what we are discussing as well. Truly, the people know and understand my mission. This is what the vote show. The administration will dwell on our campaign issues, security, economy, corruption. We will fight for the people, the president said. He emphasized the important place of agriculture under his administration, promising to appoint a minister who is knowledgeable and will know how to promote interest and investment in the sector. But you are giving your own opinion, but the president is saying he will fight for the masses. He will fight for Nigerians, especially those that we are complaining about all the time. That a lot of us see and we look like we our hands are handicapped. We can't do so much. Expecting the government to do more. And the president is saying, I will do everything, and he's assuring Nigerians. What will you say to that statement?
It takes a very competent president to actually do what he says. It takes an outstanding president, a leader, to actually be able to deliver on campaign or manifestos. I mean, all leaders across the world. We even in the UK. Hello? I'm listening. We're listening. Yeah. Even in the UK, the conservative government has been accused on several occasions of shielding the big boys, the fat cats in London. Of shielding the entrepreneurs in London who actually support government directly, of not declaring their taxes. So it applies to every country of the world. These bourgeoisie, these money bags, they support government during campaign, they support these political parties. Therefore, when you get there, for you to, first of all, discharge their interest will be the priority, because you know that if you don't give it back, if you don't give whatever the support they expect back, they might frustrate your tenure. So President Muhammad Buhari can issue statements that is going to attend to the need of the poor people. I don't think it's realizable. I don't think if he actually wants to do anything for the man, he should start by securing the people. Let people be alive first. The people you want to protect, the people you want to provide for, let them be alive. Let their children be alive. Secure these people. By the time you provide adequate security, then people will have a sense of belonging that, there is government presence. I mean, we have seen events all across Nigeria that there is access of security in the country. You can see abduction, kidnapping, insurgency, that is ravaging every corner of the country as we speak. I'm sure they're up to date and you're on top of the game. You can see them every day. We hear about killing, we hear about maiming, we hear about riots, we hear about abduction, we hear about kidnapping. Kidnapping has become so popular under President Muhammadu Buhari. Kidnapping has become so I don't know how to describe it. So if Buhari administration wants to achieve anything, they should achieve security of life and property, which is the number one under Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended in 1999. Security of life and property should be the number one priority of government. That is not there. So if this security is there, then you can then implement social security services. Social services such as we have here. The stipend you promised in 2014, 5,000 for every household with unemployed graduates. You can then, bring about 30,000 minimum wage, which was one of the cardinal points of Showe on August 5 protest. You can bring about free education at all levels in Nigeria because the level of uneducated people, unemployable graduates that we have, we then reduce. And that will catalyze production if you make education free. So you employ and seek the services of expertise, not political associates with corruption and economic baggage. The likes of Akpabio and Adegbeshola will not do Nigeria any good. So President Muhammad Buhari must not be issuing statements to cajole people. This is not time. He's not campaigning for any election. We expect him to be a statesman to make statements that are realizable, realistic, so that people can hope in this government. Protect people first, then employ or appoint competent people, not a Fabio that we know. Not Saraki. Saraki has always been in politics more than 16 years. Look at Kwara today, and they are still appointing the same people. Look at the track record of Adegbeshola, the abysmal performance. After ruling Osun State for 8 years, Adegbeshola could not win election. So when you are bringing these boys, this group of people on board, and you are promising Nigeria the development, how is it possible? I mean, you cannot plus 2 + 2 and get an answer. You cannot bring a Fabio. You cannot bring Adegbeshola. You cannot bring Beni Saraki. You cannot bring Silva. Silva, under the last administration, was indicted for corruption to the tune of 19 billion. President Buhari is bringing Silva back, the former governor of Bayelsa State. He's bringing him back as minister. How do you not? I mean, these guys are kleptomanians who would never be satisfied with what. In fact, they can steal the whole Nigerian budget. So, if you bring technocrats, if you bring businessmen from Harvard, Nigerians that are doing wonders abroad, we have technical, we have academicians, we have people doing. I mean, you see them in London. They head blue chip companies. They are ready to serve Nigeria. You can bring them, you can invite them. They are partyless. You can invite them. Though the terrain in Nigeria is quite difficult to operate if you are not corrupt, if you don't know how to settle the boys, if you don't know how to carry them along. The language in Nigeria is you have to carry us along, which means you have to bribe us or you have to, So when you bring these new people on board, then we will know that you are planning for development. But when you are bringing Silva, when you are bringing Adegbeshola, when you are bringing Beni Saraki, when you are bringing Akpabio, there's nothing. We are not expecting anything different.
Wow. Well, that has been Dr. Karim. Next week, by next week, we should have and that's when we're going to look into some of these, individuals, because we don't even know what portfolio that they will be having in their hands as minister for what until the 21st of August. But be rest assured, our listeners, that next week we will have Dr. Karim joining us again, looking at some of these issues. Your closing remark in just 30 seconds.
Nigeria should not give up. Let's keep the hope alive. I mean, every country that has developed today has also passed through this stage. What we need to do, for those of us who are conscious, to educate our people back home that enough is enough. You cannot say again. I mean, I heard Joe Igbokwe, the spokesperson for APC in Lagos State, saying that we should give them time. They said, in fact, what he said in that forum was that we should wait for 16 years. We cannot wait for 16 years like PDP took us for granted. What we are going to do is stand on top of every policy of government. If it's good, if it's developmental, if it's forward-thinking policy, we support it. If it's backward and retrogressive policy, we will fight it and we'll fight it to a standstill. Thank you, Olayomi, and God bless you.
Wow, that is Dr. Karim joining us all the way from Birmingham. Once again, if you join us, this is
Online, on
The
mobile.
best radio show.
DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, I did promise, that exclusive interview. We'll be playing that sound clip in just about a minute from now. But if you're joining us for the first time, this is comes to you every Wednesday from 1800 hours, where we look at issues affecting Nigerians, and we also look at promoting Nigeria, and also seeing how we can collaborate with other individuals out there. So if you like to reach out to the studio at any time, it's 0208 2257 or 0208 133 For those of you in US and Canada, it's 001 718 303 2737 as well. The WhatsApp or text message is 075 3966 1744. Thank you very much, Captain John Okpaku. He's going to be on the radio, I think, tomorrow as well. He's a very good contributor to the studio as well. Agriculture is what we are discussing. I'm sure Captain John might be joining us as soon as we have the new. Because when I had an interview with Captain John in Lagos, there was a lot of bottleneck, and those bottleneck, you want to export one item out, you have to deal with almost 10 different agencies, and that is not going to work. But let's hope this time around, like the president say, agriculture, whoever, Captain John, I hope you saw that, press statement. And if you haven't seen that, I'm sure you must have seen it anyway. Well, let me just, mention what the president said yesterday, that he emphasized the important place of agriculture under his administration, promising to appoint a minister who is knowledgeable and who will and will know how to promote interest and investment in the sector. And we can't do all that if security is a problem. You want to export yam, you have to deal with so many people. But all that as well, we had this conversation once with Captain John in Lagos, Star Radio UK. Thank you very much, Captain John, and every one of you that have logged in. This is time now to sit back and listen to the interview with the First Lady of Kwara State, Mrs. Olufolake Abdurazak, yesterday at the Mayor's Parlor in Brent. Pleasure to have Her Excellency, the First Lady of Kwara State, Mrs. Olufolake Abdurazak. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you.
Well, just to find out, what is your plan as the First Lady of Kwara State, mostly for the children and women?
Well, thank you very much for that question. It's been 2 months since the inauguration, and I've worked very closely with my husband regarding women and children's, welfare, health, and so many other things. We have a shared vision where this is concerned, and I don't limit myself to just women and children. I talk about humanity at large, because I've had a lot of support from men as well. So in the first instance, we've looked at issues relating to, the primary health care, child mortality, which is still quite prevalent in Nigeria, still quite high, and in Kwara State too. So we're looking at that, how to support the primary health care, how to support the institutions of government where they support children, like the government orphanages, and where you have vulnerable people. We've also really supported the women's groups. They've been very, very up and doing on their own. They've done so many things, and what I talked about at the just concluded Africa Fashion Week London was the skills acquisition groups that the women have been doing. So skills acquisition is very important, because in the past you saw that people used to give away like equipment such as sewing machines and things like that to people. A lot of the time they did not know how to use the equipment, so they would sell them off and immediately before long go back into the poverty cycle. So we've now decided that it's more important to look into skills acquisition rather than giving of gifts. So where women are trained in things like pottery making, adire making, ashoke making, makeup, hair, beading, and all these other things, fashion and whatnot. Nigeria is a very cultural society, and also a lot of events take place. We need just a little excuse to celebrate any event. So the women, once they have this, they are able to live well and to also train others in doing these skills. So we had recently, the state government partnered with the ITS, and they had a training of women. We've also had the Educated Women in Politics also organized one in the name of the Ajike Foundation, Ajike People Support Center, which is my own initiative. And 200 women were trained recently with certificates given at the end of the training session, and so on and so forth. We have so many like that, so many examples. So this would serve to make them economically viable, and instead of just returning back into that poverty cycle.
That is the voice of the Excellency. Let's continue to listen to the last bit of that interview.
On the issues of drug-related issues. There's a high prevalence in the north of Nigeria, as you know. Kwara State is in north-central Nigeria. It's not as bad there, but we felt we needed to be up and doing to make sure that we do not fall into that high prevalence rate. So the issue of, and we have a lot of participation and support from various sectors regarding this. So many other things which I could go on and on about.
Just to get, because your new role, you will once say, with us as a diaspora, I will ask what is the message for the diaspora, but what is your new role like?
Well, my new role has been exciting and challenging. You want to go to the state and make sure that people know that you care. The important thing about political leaders and people in office, or any sort of community leader even, or whatever, is to show the people that you care. That alone, once you are accessible, reachable, and they can tell you where their needs are, I think that is key. So the new role has been challenging, but at the same time, very fulfilling. Because when you see that difference in everyone's lives, it is so important. I mean, I work also, like you said, I used to be here in the UK with you, and that has complemented my role in such a big way to the advantage of all. Now, my message to the diaspora, as you said, because I've had the cause to work so closely with a lot of diasporans, and I'm very proud of the diaspora. Nigerian diaspora, as you know, contributes immensely to the GDP of Nigeria. All what is done is so amazing. It's to encourage them, like I said at Africa Fashion Week as well, to encourage them to continue to invest in Nigeria. This time, sometimes we would like it in a more channeled way. Support charities, support organizations that are making a difference in people's lives. Start one even, come across the state governments, we're always ready to listen and partner with a lot of you and make sure that we make that much needed difference in our country.
Thank you very much. Difference in our country, and that was yesterday at the mayor's parlor with our Excellency, all the way from Nigeria. She is the first lady to Kwara State, governor. She was, like I said, once here as a diaspora, working as a diplomat in the High Commission here in London. And that was, an exclusive one. And we will continue to engage, with different, individuals. But one thing is, you can also reach out to us at any point that you think, we need to access somebody. We can bring them onto the studio, or we can just get that exclusive interview with them. Thank you very much to every one of you. I know the time was very short today. Next week, we would definitely, make it up next week. But one thing is, she mentioned a few things that I was able to pick up. Care is one thing that a lot of our leaders, the moment they get there, they are not accessible. She did mention that, you got to be accessible, and we will hold her to account for that word as well. We hope, she'll be accessible when we need her to ask her some of those questions that is really boiling, those in the Kwara and other state as well, depending on whoever we are, having that conversation with. Show the people that you care. That is also very important. No matter where you are, do show a bit of care to people as well. That is very important as well. And one thing is, don't wait before the government say, this or that. You can also start something, within your community. Look at where that community is that you know very well. Empower one or two people, and Nigeria will be a better place. Sometimes, we travel to, Israel, Jerusalem, and Saudi Arabia, just like, my very good brother there, Dotun, used to say, how come we are not traveling to Oshun Festival? Because we have been told that festival is fetish. Whereas we travel down to Galilee Sea and, Saudi Arabia and other places, but we neglect, the ones within our own backyard. And that is one area that we must continue, to make sure that our tradition is not something that we can throw away. I saw Captain John the other day, giving us a background to Yam Festival. We had the KBC here that says they celebrate Yam Festival every, June. And one thing is, we cannot, leave our tradition because, we've been told about this religion that is now one of the problems, or some of those issues, or some of those solutions to so many things that we are facing, back in African country. Let's take one more from, our real sponsor of this program, but you can also be a sponsor. Let us know what you have. Send an email to the studio, info@starradiouk.com, or you can reach out to me directly on +4475 94050 979. And to my producer, I say thank you very much, as usual, Frank, Archie, and other presenters as well. Tomorrow is the property show. You want to make sure that you tune into the property show. And as we continue to bring the program to an end this evening, we say everybody has a role to play.
GMC, any other regulatory bodies. Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, interim, or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abe Akinyoshu of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service on 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you in all aspects of your professionalism disciplinary.
And yes, their team is ready to make sure that, every problem that you have, they can help you to solve it. And on that note, we'll be bringing the show to an end this evening. But again, next week, we'll be back with another guest, another show. So make sure you tune in next week as well. And like I used to say, politician, you must pity us. But I love to leave on the note of, Ras Kimono. May so continue to rest in peace. And there is pressure, but that pressure as well is something that we must make sure that, no matter how pressure it is in Nigeria, don't let us lose hope. We had Mike D saying there, let's thank God, let's thank the Creator, let's thank the ancestors as well. Because when you mention the ancestors, people think, differently in their heads. But one thing is, we had something before the religion, came, to start, I'm sure you know what I'm discussing and what I'm saying. We don't have to go into full details. Thank you very much to my family, my loved one, for standing by, for all the time, but I'm sure we will get there. To my brother, to my sisters, and all my friends around the globe. You can follow me on all my social media handles, Olayomi Koiki. And once again, this is Starr Radio UK.
On mobile, soon on DAB. This is Star Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Yes, we are the leading, and we'll be leaving you now with. Yeah, man. Join me again next week, Wednesday, Niger Voices.
To this region, after seeing all was going in
Africa. We're going to be going to the Nigerian High Commission on a courtesy visit to the ambassador this Friday.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
And on that note, I say thank you very much. We'll be back same time next week.